Alright, welcome back to Jedi Jive, everyone. My name is Mike, and today we're going to watch episode 6 of season 7 of the Clone Wars. This one is called Deal No Deal. Last week we had our first episode with Ahsoka again, and we got to meet her new friends, Trace and Rafa. They seem like they might be kind of questionable in terms of the things that they're involved in, but Ahsoka obviously has her head on straight and knows right from wrong. So it seems like Trace is a good person and is going to see the good things that Ahsoka does and is going to probably break from her sister Rafa, who has a little bit more rough edges, who's probably going to have some questionable things that she's going to do, and Trace is going to question those things and go along with Ahsoka, and it's probably going to cause a little bit of a conflict between the sisters. That's kind of my prediction, but in general, I don't think these sisters should be considered too important because we're halfway through the last season and these are new characters, so I don't think we're going to benefit much from trying to fill out their stories so much. I think that they would be much better off using them as tools to tell Ahsoka's story, so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens to Ahsoka here. We want to see some more action, and last week's episode was fun, but it seemed like a little bit of a setup episode, so we're looking for a little bit more story this time, so I'm excited to jump in and see what happens. Let's do it.
I can tell you've worked on starships before. That must have been some academy you went to topside.
Yeah, the best.
The Jedi Academy.
Skywalker Academy.
Skywalker. Never heard of it. I never really heard of any academy. Not like I was ever gonna attend one. First, there aren't any academies down here. Second, if there was, I couldn't afford it. Rafa and I inherited this hangar after our parents split.
Where'd you get the ship?
I did odd jobs, mech work, whatever I could to make some credits. And now I've got myself a starship.
Impressive.
Once the Silver Angel revs up its hyperdrive.
The Silver Angel?
Wait, you're saying it's a bad name?
Hey, it's your ship. You call it what you want. Why don't you name my bike while you're at it?
I did. Trash. Its name is Trash.
That's only fair.
Believe me, things couldn't be a bigger mess for me than they already are.
So you'll stay a little while longer at least. That way we can test the Silver Angel.
As long as Rafa doesn't mind.
As long as Rafa doesn't mind what?
Ahsoka's gonna be staying on for a bit.
You got any skills?
Only useful ones.
What's up?
Don't threaten her with a good
I
time.
wouldn't ask you to do this, but I'm in a tough spot. I hired a starship and crew for a job.
You what?
I was gonna do a job, make us some money, and be back.
I don't know what's worse, that you were gonna do this, or that you hired a pilot other than me to do it with.
What's the job?
I'll tell you once we're underway. I need your help with this.
You mean, you need the best pilot around and the fastest ship you know?
Yes, to both of those. Remember, we can't count on anyone.
So we count on ourselves. And maybe Ahsoka.
Maybe.
Come on, I want to get going.
Oh, you
Warm
can
the
count on
engines
her.
up.
You show up out of nowhere, suddenly you and my sister are inseparable? What are you after?
Excuse me?
Everyone plays an angle. So tell me, what are you after?
I don't have an angle. Unless maybe to keep you both out of trouble.
You ever thought you might be the trouble she needs to stay away from?
Oh, Ahsoka's definitely trouble.
Ahsoka, Rafa, welcome aboard the Silver Angel.
The Silver Angel? You should rethink that.
That's what I told her.
Nice. Not a ship we recognize, right? So it was a Nebula-class freighter, right? Back topside. So we're gonna finally get some Jedi interaction, maybe? We know Trace and Rafa are not fans of the Jedi. That's obviously due to Palpatine's propaganda.
That's a military lane. You can't go there. That's a restricted area.
We're being hailed.
Don't answer that.
We have to answer that.
No, we don't.
Fly higher!
Stop telling me what to do.
Pull up. Pull up.
Stop telling me what to do.
Don't answer that.
This is the Silver Angel. What can I do for you?
This is military airspace. I'll have your star pilot license for this.
License? Do I need one of those?
It won't happen again. Just teaching my youngest sister to fly.
Oh, you're teaching me to fly.
Who is this? What's your license number?
What's your operating number?
Just get in the transport
Boring
and
conversation
fly.
anyway.
Who was on board that transport? Oh, just some rookie pilots.
He senses her. It's her, man, it's her. Yes, nice.
Should I send a detachment, General?
No, it's nothing.
Little bit of a call to Return of the Jedi when Luke and Vader are having their connection. Uh-oh, telling secrets.
I've never been to hyperspace before.
What?
Really?
What have you been flying?
Oh, mainly speeders, you know? Maintenance vehicles, whatever I could get my hands on.
Oh, great.
See where I tried to
This is
hire a
safe.
different pilot?
I left the air brakes on. That could have been bad.
This is like Kessel.
You're
Yeah, it's like
taking us
the
to Kessel?
maw.
I've
Nice.
heard pilots
This is
talk
like
about
the
this
exact same
place.
as Solo.
It's legendary.
What are we doing here?
Picking up medicine?
Spice. Ahsoka is on a drug run. This is awesome. Ahsoka is now officially a smuggler. So wait a minute. Kessel was not a green planet when we saw it. It was gassy and yellow.
Lead the way, sir. Welcome to the big time.
Yeah, this planet seems more reminiscent of Takodana. Or Yavin. This is like Naboo.
If you show yourself to be dependable, you will have the opportunity to meet His Royal Highness. You will deliver 3 containers of unrefined spice. You will be awarded a full shipment and a contract to transport for us on a continual basis.
They know, Trace.
Drug dealers on salary.
Working for a king. Many things can be made out of spice, and they're not all good.
In this time of war, our spice is refined into a medicine that saves people across the galaxy. Now come, Ms. Martez. Let us get the spice into this very fast ship.
So Ahsoka's like evolving her things and things she doesn't necessarily agree with just because of her bike that needs fixing, essentially.
But they always go after the bigger Kessel transport ships. Obvious targets. That's why the king hired us.
But we're leaving Kessel. It's not hard to figure out what we might be here for. I'm starting to see why Rafa didn't originally hire you for this job. It's dangerous.
That's just your nerves talking.
Running spice is no simple transport mission.
Sure, I wasn't her first choice for this job, but she wouldn't have asked me to do it if she didn't believe I could.
How can she possibly know what we're up against?
Hey, there's a first time for everything. We're coming up on the mining zone.
Okay. Alright, that explains it. So Kessel definitely has multiple
Now
climates.
this looks like the Kessel from the stories.
There you go. Okay, so yeah.
Price to be paid.
It's always one thing
There's
people
a
complain about in Star
platform
Wars. Why are the planets only... This is a desert planet. This is a forest planet. This is, you know, a water planet. So now we know Kessel isn't just a gas mining place. It's also got
Look at
forest
all those
areas.
droids.
Trace, those are not droids. They're people.
They're slaves. Now Trace is going to start to feel... Alright, it's all coming together now. Trace is going to have a moral conflict and isn't going to want to proceed with the contract. And Rafa's going to be the opposite. That's going to be the source of the conflict. Then when they find out Ahsoka's a Jedi, that's going to make the conflict even worse.
I think the term is slaves.
Can't be. An operation this large? The Republic wouldn't stand for it. They'd shut the place down.
Yeah, you'd think they would.
That's because the politicians have the drug money in their pockets too. Oh. That's Zagirian, right? The cat people? They're the slave owners.
Let's go.
Ahsoka has a bad history with them.
I'm not sure if I like her or not.
You never like any of my friends. Next stop, Obadiah.
Lord Krim better have my money waiting.
Marg Krim? The Pike crime boss?
Why am I not surprised you know about the Pykes?
I know you can't make a deal with them.
How does she know so much? How do you know so much?
I pay attention to the world around me. They'll take your ship, your life, everything.
My ship?
Can't have that.
This is bad, Trace.
Rafa, what are they gonna do to my ship?
See? This is why I didn't want you for this job.
Why not make the best of a bad situation and deliver this spice to some place that can use it for medicine?
We can't pay off debt with your morality.
No one is taking my ship.
No one
Just
is
leave.
taking my ship.
What was that?
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
What did you do?
Just dumped the spice.
Dump the spice.
You did what?
Right now, we owe the Pykes.
Then how is turning the spice into medicine gonna solve anything?
Well, that was more of an ethical debate.
I'll tell you what, I can think of one way to pay off the Pykes, and I'm standing in it.
No one is touching my ship.
Oh, this is certainly messy. Now they're in a Han Solo situation.
Do we need to go over it again?
Nope, because no matter how many times we go over it, I can tell you, it's not going to work.
Don't worry. I've got a trick or two that you don't know about.
Care to share?
No. Not yet, at least.
It's the Pykes. Oh, they're so creepy.
I assume that you had no trouble transporting the spice from Kessel. If anything had happened, it would have been very unfortunate.
I'd have to kill you. Sounds like Mr. Burns.
Here is your...
Sounds exactly like Mr. Burns.
Now,
The
let us
spice.
take a look.
Yeah, she's pulling the Jedi mind trick.
Pass our credits and send us on our way.
Here are your credits. Now go on your way.
It's not going to be that easy.
I take it back. I'm liking this plan.
I am going to make sure everything sorts out to our liking.
That one's not weak-minded.
Thanks for everything. We'll hopefully see you soon.
Just a moment. I need the code to unlock the bin.
I think we transmitted that to you already. Let's get out of here, Trace.
It's going to be a close one.
Where is the spice?
I don't believe it. Kessel must have double-crossed you. Well, that's really unfortunate.
Engage the tractor beam!
Uh-oh.
You better get us out of here now.
Tractor beam.
That is a tractor beam.
Just so you know, when they interrogate me, I'm blaming the whole thing on you.
Between the three of us, there's plenty of blame to go around.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, it was obviously not going to be that easy. That would have been way too easy. Well, that was a fun episode. I think they're, like I predicted in the beginning, they just want to set up a conflict now between the ethical moral situation versus what they feel like they have to do and to pay off their debts. And obviously these aren't bad people. The Trace and Rafa are good people. When it comes down to it, they're just trying to make their way in the galaxy like anyone else, and running spices. We've seen Han Solo tell stories about this. We all know Han Solo's a great guy. We love Han Solo, but he obviously does questionable things. That's just the way he operates. A lot of people in the Star Wars universe, have to do questionable things. It's one of those themes that they've been playing up a lot more recently in Star Wars, like in Rogue One when we first meet Cassian Andor, and, he's a good guy, but then he shoots another good guy in order to get away. And it's one of those, the gray area between good and bad is fun to explore in Star Wars, because it's, we keep pointing out that even the good guys need to do bad things sometimes, particularly in this world, just to make things work. And it's just an unfortunate way the world works, and that you can't always make the moral decision and, still have things turn out well. So it's funny that they're turning Ahsoka into a drug dealer. It's a little bit inadvertent, obviously. They're making it seem like she's got this friendship with Trace, and that's keeping her involved with him a little more. She's not obligated to stay and do this, but they've given me the impression that she needs to get her bike fixed, so now she owes Trace for helping her use her hangar, and so this is her paying off her debt in that respect. But if Ahsoka really wanted to leave, she could. So I'm not sure why. They're just trying to keep them together for story's sake, I guess. But at the end of the day, it's fun. You can see where they're going with this. Like I said, it's a conflict that they've set up now, and they're gonna have to resolve it at some point. So I'm predicting that in the next couple episodes, Trace is gonna be the one that's gonna have to come around, because obviously Rafa's gonna have to come around. We saw Trace make the decision to dump the spice, just she doesn't want to have to go either way. But now that they've double crossed the Pykes, they're going to be in trouble. So that's obviously next week's episode is going to be the continuation of this one. So overall, I'm having fun. I don't think that this story arc in general is going to be super important to the rest of the season, because we know we're going to get Siege of Mandalore, and Ahsoka and Anakin are going to have to interact at some point. So mostly this entire arc seems like now it's probably just going to be a little bit of a filler arc right in the middle of the season, because if this story is mostly telling sort of the moral conflict that Trace and Rafa have, then it's more about them than it is about Ahsoka, because she doesn't necessarily, the way Ahsoka is changing is she's getting into these questionable things, and obviously we know that the Jedi aren't viewed favorably at this point, and neither does Ahsoka. She, they wronged her, so that's why she had to leave. So we're seeing Ahsoka get involved with these people, and eventually it's gonna come to a head, and it looks like that's going to happen next week. So I'm having fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. If you guys are looking forward to next week, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.